Welcome back to Good Morning Mizzou. I'm Sean Chada here with MSA Presidential candidate Jordan McFarland. Jordan, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I think we're going to really hit all those hard-hitting news topics today. Let's start off with the first question. I'm sure it's on everyone's mind. Jordan, have you ever been a president before?
Well, if you count Hatch Hall president, I guess that counts. But depending on who you ask, I don't know. But technicality, yes.
Okay, well, you can check off experience on that list at home. Jordan, they also say that great power comes with great responsibility. Do you think you would make a better Spider-Man than your fellow candidates?
I do consider myself pretty agile. You know, I try to play basketball once every now and then, and you know, I don't know. There's no way I'd beat Tony Parker.
That is what we want to hear. We always want a sporty president. Let's move on. There is one topic that is constantly being discussed at Mizzou. You know, it's affecting everyone's lives. Are you pro or against Maddie Mock?
I'm very much on the Mock bandwagon.
On the Mock bandwagon.
Look, ever since that pass against Florida last year, just the balls to throw it down the sideline on the right for 40 yards, first play of the game, I'm all Maddie Mock.
I'm going to follow up that question with, were you at the Georgia game?
This
past Georgia game, yes.
No, unfortunately for my LTC learning requirement, I had to volunteer with underprivileged kids at Fun City, which, I mean, I say unfortunately because I missed the game, but it's very fortunate. I love working with those kids.
Well, I just gave you a softball right there, didn't I?
A game I did never play.
Let's move on. You lived at Hatch last year, is that true?
This, believe it or not, is true.
And how would you respond to the allegations that you are indeed Hatch nasty?
Well, if you ask Scott Bosley, my hall coordinator, I should respond as such with saying we're Hatch classy. But if you ask the constituency, I'd say Hatch nasty all the way. We're going to win those Baja Wars with Schurz, and we're going to get those chips and salsa first.
Now, Jordan, I don't know if you've heard, but Vice President Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States of America, recently had his son kicked out of the Navy for doing cocaine. Now, if we elect you president, how are you possibly going to one-up that?
You know what? I think anything Joe Biden is really hard to one-up.
Very true. Very true. Well, Jordan, thank you for coming in today. It's been a pleasure. Do you have any closing words for your constituents that you'd like to say?
Well, since I have the chance here, I'd like to say that I love your plaid shirt.
Oh, he knows how to win the voters.
More importantly, I'd just like to remind everyone out there that's a potential voter that our campaign is about 4 things: students, diversity, safety, and tradition. But more than that, it's all about you. And that is the one thing I'd want to say here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jordan. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Mizzou. Once again, I'm Sean Chada, and now I'm joined by presidential candidate for the MSA, Miles Artis, and Mary-Kate O'Brien for vice president. Miles, thank you for being here. Mary-Kate, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having us.
So, like you've previously seen, we're going to ask all the hard-hitting journalistic questions right now. Miles, you're going to get the first one. So, Miles, I have to ask, you're running for president of the MSA.
Right.
Have you ever been a president before?
You can do this. Think about it.
Actually, yes, I have. High school, if that counts.
Yes.
Are we counting high
Absolutely.
school?
We're counting.
We're counting high
everything.
school.
Anything goes.
Sophomore and junior class president. Yes.
There it is.
There it is.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Now, I'm sure you guys have both heard, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, that's true.
Heard it said.
That's
Now, out of you two, who would make the better superhero?
Considering I already have immense strength, I bench pressed Miles the other day. So
Really?
She did.
I'm definitely, I mean,
we're being honest.
we're not gender normative here. I'm going to bench press Miles.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't really know. It depends on what kind of superhero. I think I'm kind of a, I don't know. We could go for the whole, like, Supergirl, Superman, Superwoman, I don't know.
Type thing.
Kind of thing. We like to
We
fly.
could do that. I like flying.
Fly around. We'll do that.
We could do it.
So a flying tag
A
team.
flying
Yes,
Crime
flying
Stoppers.
First thing I made said a cat team. I was like, we can be cat
we can be
people,
cat-
Catwoman, flying Catwoman. I'll jump between buildings. That's fine.
Well, there you have it. You heard it here first. Let's move on to the next question. a more serious topic, something that is affecting every single MU student,
Yes.
and it seems like everyone has a really hot take about this. Are you guys pro or against Maddie Mock?
We support Mizzou Tigers.
Yes, all Tigers.
No matter how bad the loss or great the win, we support you. Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie Mock, we got all our faith in you.
All the
have
faith in Maddie
All the
Mock.
faith in Maddie Mock.
Let's
gonna
bring it home for homecoming,
Yeah.
sir. Don't fail us now.
I'm going to have to follow up that question with, were you two in attendance at the past Georgia game?
I was,
Yes,
and it
we
was
were.
a
Yes,
harrowing
we were.
experience.
It's okay. I was too.
It was, you know what?
Learning
It is better to
experience.
have loved and lost than never to have loved
Very
at all,
true.
There you go.
Very true.
as I've
you
heard
go.
it said.
Mary Kate, this question is for you.
Yes.
The Vice President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, you may have heard of him. Recently,
I might have, it rings a bell.
Is he? I think
Yes.
so.
recently, his son was kicked out of the Navy for cocaine.
Oh, you know, it looks like he's been hanging out with a couple government officials in Toronto. It so seems. Yes.
Well, my question to you is, if you are elected MSA Vice President, how are you going to one-up that?
You know, my thing is this. I'm hoping there's not going to be rampant cocaine use within the Mizzou
No.
student body government.
You
So I
always hope.
There's always the hope. I hope that I will not have to one-up that. Yeah, wow.
That's a lot to
All I can
handle.
say is, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Miles, we're going to have to kick you off the campaign.
Man,
I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. We do not condone that. Thank you.
do not condone it whatsoever.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Before we end the show, would you like to say anything to the constituents back home, your potential voters, any message you want to pass on to them?
I think a tagline that really
Yeah.
goes along with our slate is, in the immortal words of RuPaul, you better work.
Better work.
You better work.
Better work.
You better work.
You have it here first, Mizzou. You better work. With Miles and Mary Kate, I'm Sean Chada for Good Morning Mizzou. Welcome back to Good Morning Mizzou. I'm joined now by MSA presidential candidate Peyton Head and vice presidential candidate Brenda Smith-Lozama. Peyton and Brenda, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
As I told Jordan earlier, we're going to talk about the hard-hitting issues today.
Uh-oh.
So, Peyton, this first question is directed to you.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been a president before?
Wow. That is a great question. No, I haven't actually. I've been a vice president before.
Okay. And Brenda,
Back in high school.
have you ever been a vice president before?
I've actually been a president, never a
Oh,
vice president. So
interesting.
we're switching things up a little
We
bit.
are getting some insights here.
Keeping it a little bit interesting on this slate.
Well, I'm sure you guys have both heard, with great power comes great responsibility.
responsibility.
So my question to you guys is, which one of you two would make the better superhero?
I think we'd make equally good superheroes in very different ways. I think I could be like the invisible superhero, and Peyton could be the do-it-all superhero. I don't know, what do you think?
Together, we change the world.
So that dynamic duo, that's what you're going
Yeah,
for?
we're pretty much a Batman and Robin, which is really cool about us. I think that we feed off of each other, so somehow that we can work together would be a cool
Very cool.
way
very
to
cool.
do it.
Brenda, this question is for you.
Okay.
Recently, Vice President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, had his son kicked out of the Navy for doing drugs. As Vice President of the MSA, if you get elected, how would you one-up that?
How would I one-up that? I don't think I'd want to, honestly. I mean, they say all press is good press, but I don't know if I completely believe in that.
Good to know. Good to know. Now, there's one very serious topic on the MU campus that everyone seems to have a very strong opinion about. As a campaign, are you guys together pro or against Maddie Mock?
We are pro Maddie Mock. We are pro Maddie Mock simply because of the fact that he is one of our Tigers and we support our own always.
Now, I'm going to follow up that question with the second question. Were you guys in attendance at this past Georgia game?
Yes.
I actually was not. I was watching it from home, or from work, I guess.
And you still stick with your stance of supporting Maddie Mock?
I do. I have to support Maddie Mock because at the end of the day, if Peyton chose to stop supporting me when I had hard times, like, we wouldn't be here today. So who knows? Maddie, who knows where he'll be tomorrow?
And then really quick, could you guys tell us, as a person, what makes you different than the other candidates? What is your defining trait or feature? Something you can do, like maybe you can juggle. Jordan may not be able to juggle.
Huh.
Who knows?
You mean together or just?
Individually or together. I don't know if you guys can like combine to do an acrobatics act or something.
Hey, I
Or just-
actually am a tumbler, so if you need to see a couple of those flips, you know, I
There we
got
go.
you on that one.
Do we have any other vice presidential candidates that can tumble? We don't know. Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys here. Anything you'd like to say to the viewers at home?
Ignite Mizzou.
Ignite Mizzou. Check out our website, most importantly, our platform at ignitemizzou.com, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Ignite Mizzou. We appreciate all of your support.
And before we go, could you guys tell the viewers at home how to vote and how to get involved?
Yes. The elections start November 10th, and they end November 12th on vote.missouri.edu.
Awesome. Peyton, Brenda, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you
Thanks
for having us.
That's all for our MSA Presidential Candidate Interviews. We'll be right back. This has been Good Morning Mizzou.